If the termina contestants were to 1v1 against the Pocketcat, who would win? First up is Dan, who, it should be pretty obvious. It's going to be a perfect tie between him and the Pocketcat, since it's basically Pocketcat just hitting himself. No one's going to win. Neither one's going to lose either. They're just going to keep throwing hands at each other, just not letting up the attack until someone comes along and splits the two up. Up next is Abella, who I think would do pretty well against the Pocketcat, especially if she has her wrench, since Pocketcat's arms aren't very well guarded, and they're also pretty small, very easy to break off, you could say, which works in a major advantage for Abella since her wrench toss can easily take off limbs. So Pocketcat, having easy to take off limbs and an attack specifically designed to take off limbs, I mean, that those two just go together. So I'd say Abella is going to win, so that's, 1 point for the contestants and 1 point for the Pocketcat. And since we're also going to include Dan, that's going to be 2 points for Pocketcat and 2 points for the contestants. Up next is Osa, who I also think would tie against the Pocketcat. Because while yes, Osa does have some pretty impressive magical abilities, Pocketcat is quite literally the servant of the moon god, so I think his magic would be a little stronger. So the big question is, who has the better magic, Gorgoroth or Rare? And I'm pretty sure Rare would give his only servant some pretty decent magical abilities, but Osa also has a lot of training and experience using magic, so I think those two really even out, and that just kind of leaves us with a tie. Up next is Olivia, which is an easy Pocketcat win. I mean, quite literally, like in the game, Pocketcat just bullies her and steals her wheelchair. So, 1v1 between Pocketcat and Olivia, it's already over. It was over from the start, doomed from the very beginning. This also brings the current score to 3 for the contestants and 3 for the Pocketcat. Although that's all going to change with our next contestant, Karen. And Karen is easily going to win against the Pocketcat for one big reason. Karen has a Luger, and it doesn't matter how thick that rubber mask is. She has a gun. A 9mm round is going to go through any kind of rubber the Pocketcat has. And I doubt, if you consider the time period, I heavily doubt that Pocketcat has invented Kevlar yet. So he's going to get smoked. Quite literally, he's getting smoked by Karen. And the exact same thing applies to Pav as well. So that updates our score to 5 points for the contestants and 3 points for Pocketcat. Up next is Marco, who I also think is going to just completely destroy Pocketcat. While yes, he doesn't have a gun, he does have extensive experience in boxing and quite literally killed someone in the ring and made it look like an accident. So he has a lot of skill when it comes to using his hands to permanently take people out of commission. And while yes, Pocketcat is physically strong, he's not as strong as Marco and does not have the same training that Marco does. Which now leaves us with a score of 6 points for the contestants and still just 3 points for Pocketcat. Although it seems like Pocketcat's losing streak still isn't over because Levi is up next, and it is even worse off for Pocketcat because Levi has a gun, he's using a rifle, which makes it all the more worse for Pocketcat. Because while yes, a certain amount of rubber could act like a de facto replacement for Kevlar or some other kind of bullet-resistant armor, that's really not going to work in close range against a rifle round. It wouldn't work close range with a pistol round either, but at least then you could use magic and claim that Pocketcat has strengthened his mask to be able to deflect or at least absorb pistol rounds, but that's not going to work against a rifle round. It's going to penetrate through any kind of rubber he puts up. You would need a very, very thick and dense piece of rubber, and even then, the kinetic impact of a rifle round would damage the muscle and flesh behind the mask. So even in his best case scenario, Pocketcat is still going to be very severely injured by the impact of that rifle round, which leaves our score at 7 points for the contestants and still a measly 3 for the Pocketcat. Up next is finally Pocketcat's first decent win against Marina, because Marina has, while yes, she does use magic, once again, magic is more of a hobby for her. She doesn't have a lot of experience with magic, especially not the kind of offensive magic that would be very useful in a fight, and the little magic that she does know isn't very strong. This also comes into play with the previous issue that Osa had, where Pocketcat, being a servant of the moon god, has a natural buff against magic and also is able to dole out magic damage a lot better. So Marina is not going to be able to win against Pocketcat. The same cannot be said for Samri though, who does have some very strong magic ability, and I believe that magic is strong enough to actually beat the Pocketcat, since basically all of Samri's childhood was spent learning magic and becoming incredibly proficient at magic, and that would really work in her advantage, making her stronger than the Pocketcat and being able to win this fight. Which now brings our score to 8 points for the contestants and only 4 points for the Pocketcat. Up next is Tanaka, and Tanaka, this is going to sound weird, but I'm not really going to count him at all. Not for the contestants or for the Pocketcat. Because of Tanaka's incredibly bad luck, I think it really goes either way. You know, maybe Tanaka's gonna slip on banana and, you know, just land face first into a landmine. Or maybe he would trip and fall and his suitcase would land directly into Pocketcat's face and cause immediate and severe brain damage. Because of how it could go either way, I think I'm going to just leave Tanaka out of it, and we're just going to ignore him. Next up is Hinrich. Hinrich's going to die. After Hinrich is Caligura, which I'm also going to apply the same thing. And finally is August, which is incredibly obvious. He's going to win against the Pocketcat. His ancestor was the god of ultraviolence after all, and August is very skilled in both ranged and close quarters combat, or at least I'm assuming he's skilled in close quarters combat. He also generally just has the physical strength to pull off winning a fight against Pocketcat. That leaves us with 6 points for Pocketcat and 9 points for the contestants. Anyways, that's it, and Happy New Year!